Hi, I'm Rebecca, and welcome to my sewing room. This is So Be It. This week we are making a pattern that is an oldie but a goodie. I think I've made it one time in a video, but I did make 3 different shirts. The pattern is New Look number 6284. I made the tank top version. I made what is the difference? I'm not sure there's any difference. I labeled it B, but I technically made it A because I did not put sleeves on any of my shirts. Today, I am using the same pattern that I used before. However, I am making the long sleeve version. So it will be the angled neckline and the sleeves. This pattern has a variety of different fabrics that you can use based on the look that you're going for. I used a lot of lighter weight fabrics, but they were not like cotton. They were more of a poly-ish, depending on what they really were. Today, though, you can use cotton with this pattern. Obviously, it'll have more body. The sleeves and the bottom, because it flares out at the end, will like stand away from the body more than it would if I was using a silkier fabric. One of the fabrics I'm using, you guys have seen previously, and it wasn't that long ago, maybe only about a month ago. I have a lot of this cotton sateen sheet fabric left over from a dress that I had made. So I'm making one of the shirts out of that because I will be making 2 in this video. You get to actually see me make one, and then the reveal will have both. The second is just a basic, I think it's 100% cotton. I got quite a while ago at Walmart. And I wanted to make this as a spring shirt last year, and I just ran out of time, or I kind of lost the gumption to do it. But I really want to do it right now, so that's what I'm going to do. It is this blue with yellow and some blue flowers in there, and I just fell in love with this fabric. If you look at the picture of this pattern, there is a lace on the yoke, and I actually did that to almost all of the ones that I made before. So at least on this one, I am going to hand stitch some lace onto the yoke, and it is the same lace that I used on one of the shirts last week because it's gonna go perfect with it. So this creamy white lace from last week with these flowers. It's hard to see because I'm probably having to hold it up here. There we go. With the flowers and strawberry looking things will go great along. Let me see if I can show you on the fabric. I think that'll match really nicely. So those are the 2 shirts that I will be making. I'm not sure how much I will be recording as I go because I do have a previous video of me making this, but we will see. So I will be back. One note, I've been doing a lot of showing you how I am finishing my seams because that's something I've been really working on lately. However, on the more casual stuff and the vintage stuff, I have decided for the most part I will be pinking my seams. So I'll be cutting my fabric out with my pinking shears just so that I don't have to cut them out again. As you can see, I'm wearing this brace, so it is hard for me to cut things, but overuse of hand stitching is where this got me. So that's what I'm doing for seam finishes on these casual shirts. Okay, I have all of my pieces cut out. I also have the interfacing pressed onto the yoke front and back, only one piece, not the facing. So now the next step is to gather. It's hard to see, I've got a notch here, so this is cut on the fold. This is my bodice front. On my bodice front and back, I have to gather the fabric between those notches because it's gathered right there. Adds a little decorative touch. Once those are both gathered, use 2 lines of basting stitches, pull those together. Once they're both gathered, we attach the front and back bodice to the front and back yoke, matching up the notches. There's notches, this is upside down, but there's notches on both here and here, matching up those notches, so pulling those gathering stitches to fit. After attaching the bodice to the yoke, we will then attach stitch together at the shoulder seams. And then once I get that done, I will be back to show you how to attach the yoke facing to the shirt itself. So I wanted to come and make a little note. I will remind you that, as usual, where I have gathering at, when I pin it, I overpin it. That's a whole ton of pins compared to these ends here that is not gathered. That makes it less chance that the gathers are going to slide and then become uneven, because I have them pretty evenly spaced right now. Also, I did want to mention that as I was pinning this, I did remember between the notches and the end, there is just a little gaping, so you have to stretch it just enough to fit, which is actually why I have some extra pins on both sides to hold that stretch in there, and also obviously to hold the gathers. So this is the back. I'm gonna go ahead and pin the front, and then I'm gonna stitch them both, and I'll be back. Okay, so far I have the front and back with the yokes together, stitched at the shoulder seams, and everything is pressed. The seams at the bottom of the yoke are pressed up so that when I hand stitch the facing to the shirt, then it will be all encased in there. Next step is the yoke facings. So I have to stitch these together at the shoulder seams, press those, and then I will place the facing right sides together of the yoke itself and stitch in the neckline front and back all the way around. I will also try and understitch the facing and the seams as much as I can to help it lay nice and flat. Once that is finished, I will press the facing. No. Before I stitch the facings to the yoke, I am going to fold up the edges of this facing 5/8 of an inch, and then trim those to 1/4 so that they will be nice and pressed for when I hand stitch those down. And then I will stitch the facing to the yoke at the neckline. Once that's finished, I'll come back and show you what I have and tell you the next step. Okay, so I have the yoke facing stitched and understitched to the shirt. You can tell because that's right side out, and this is the inside of the shirt. That's the back. Here's the front. It looks like it is stitched down, but it is not. It is just pinned in place so that it's not all floppy, and the pressing for the understitching doesn't come undone. I'm going a little bit off of the directions because the directions tell me to baste the sleeve seams or the shoulders together and then put the sleeves on, but then the seam for the sleeves will not be inside. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the underarm seam on both the sleeves, and I have to ease in the cap. And then I'm gonna go ahead and stitch the sleeve to the shirt, right sides together, so then it'll be here, and then when I press it, I will press that seam inside so that it will go underneath the facing, and all of my seams will be inside. So I do have the shirt almost completely done, but it looks like it's done for now. The last thing I have to do is hand stitch the facing of the yoke to the shirt itself. All of the sleeves are the sleeves are hemmed. The bottom of the shirt is hemmed. It's all in and ready to go. I just have the yoke pinned down, or the facing pinned to the yoke right now. I am also probably going to do it by hand, put in a tag on the back of the facing, and I say do it by hand so that you can't see through it on if I did it in the machine. That way it won't be stitched all the way through. But now that I've got it turned right side out, turn it around to the front. Here is my shirt, almost completed. This is obviously not the final look. I will have the final look of both of my shirts at the end, the final reveal, I will call it. However, I'm gonna go ahead and start working on the other shirt, get that all taken care of, and to probably the same point as well, because we are leaving in the morning to go out of town. So all of the hand stitching on this and the other shirt will be done while I am riding in the car, because I am usually not the driver. So I will be back with the final look. Thank you for watching my video. I hope you really enjoyed it. Maybe you learned something. I do know that I obviously have made the same pattern before, but I really like this shirt, especially for the early spring. It is a nice little layer. It's breezy and light, but it also gives you some little bit of warmth coverage with the sleeves. I do like how it's flowy. It flows away from your belly. You can wear this shirt with just about anything. A skirt, leggings, jeans. Thank you again for watching my video this week. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you come back next week. Thank you for watching Rebecca's Sewing Room. This was So Be It.